My name is Brennan Lee Mulligan. With me are two of our intrepid heroes, Emily Axford and Brian Murphy!
Hi, intrepid heroes!
As well as our brilliant and visionary director, Michael Schaubach!
Hi, intrepid heroes!
Was that your first time, intrepid
That's the first time
hero?
I've ever
You're
said
actually
it.
not allowed to do that.
Fair enough.
Brutal. Wow. Welcome to Fantasy High Extra Credit, our first live talkback show. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened in episodes 9 and 10 of Fantasy High. Now, if you're tuning in for the first time and you're like, what the hell happened to Drawfee? Let me explain. This is now Dropout Live. We're going to be doing a bunch of awesome shows, so if you were subscribing to Drawfee before, you're going to get all that great Drawfee content, plus a bunch of Dimension 20 stuff is going to jump out from behind where Dropout has been keeping it on a little sneak attack of some Dimension 20 material. It's going to jump out and be available now here on Dropout Live's Twitch channel. And we just streamed episode 9 and 10, which are the episodes past what's available on YouTube, if you can believe it. But you will still have your Monday and Friday Drawfee streams, now with this Wednesday live talkback show starting. And in another 15 or so minutes, I don't know, whenever we feel...
Ooh, make them want it.
Saucy.
Eddie. Make them want it.
Whenever we feel good and ready...
When our bodies are prepared.
When our bodies are prepared...
Yeah, I don't think I'm there yet.
Yeah.
We're going to make an announcement about something else that might be happening with this little Twitch endeavor. Murph looks very real-life nervous right now, which I'm very into.
We're buying Twitch. Dropout is buying Twitch. Big merger. Tweet about it.
But yes, so make sure to stay tuned in here for Twitch for all that good Dropout stuff, Dimension 20 and Drawfee alike. Your old faves, some new faves, and some borrowed faves and blue faves. As well as checking out Dimension 20's YouTube channel. You can go over to Dimension 20 and subscribe and hit that bell over there for a bunch of great content, Adventuring Academy, etc. Guys, how are you all doing?
Great.
Good.
Great,
Oh my
great
God.
To be here.
I love it. We're at a table scattered with dice with some miniature dragons.
It's so cruel to put us here because I know that they're all artfully placed, and I just want to go around
Rolling.
the D20s.
I do kind of want to set
want
those.
this one.
Maybe!
7.
Do you guys want to
That's
see?
actually my lucky
you guys want
number.
to see somebody roll 1?
Yeah.
Oh,
Roll a 4. I also did.
Yeah,
it's also
okay.
bullshit because you've been on a hot streak rolling lately.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, that's true.
19! I'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. I love that your instinct is to roll them. My instinct when I look at them is I'm like, I want to organize those.
Yeah, I want to set them. I want to set them to the highest
possible
they can
number.
do. I do that with my dice.
Wow.
I started doing that recently, and it has not been giving me any luck. I do not believe in it. It is not entering the Emily Axford canon of what I do to give myself good luck.
I think
Good for you.
A friend of mine growing up said something along the lines of plastic is, you know how they say glass actually is a slow moving liquid, it melts slowly and they said something along the lines of if you put is that not true?
Well, no, I don't. I've never heard that.
But
I believe
Never
You just
heard
gotta
it,
be
but
agreeable
I
to
go
keep the
home
I
conversation
literally
going.
recognize everything
Windows
you
now.
say, so yes.
I've actually heard the opposite about glass.
heard the opposite about glass.
Oh, we
I heard that it's slowly evaporating.
Yeah, my father's a glass doctor, so I'm not sure exactly what you're talking
we just
about.
never get back to D&D.
I had a minor in glass in college, just a minor, but
It's incredible. Guys, we're here talking today about episodes 9 and 10 from Fantasy High. For those that tuned in on the stream, you've just watched these episodes, so you know what we're talking about. This is Gorthalax in the diner. This is the field at Eggfort. If you haven't watched episodes 9 and 10 of Fantasy High, spoiler alert!
Yeah.
Spoilers are coming.
Sorry, fair game.
We will do our very level best not to spoil anything past 9 and 10. If we do by accident, it is only because memory fails us. But otherwise, we will do our very, very best to only refer to episodes 9 and 10 and things that happened previous to them. So, episode 9 and 10, Gorthalax's girl. This is after the battle at the Mithril Factory. You guys go to the diner.
I super didn't trust Gorthalax.
Oh, yeah, you were on my dad for a while.
He is a big demon guy.
Yeah, a bunch of you at the table did not.
Yeah. For good reason.
Clearly-
For good reasons.
Clearly, the person to be concerned about is the barbarian teacher.
Porter.
Porter! Never has there ever been a more suspicious character.
I just want to say that
Porter has secrets.
that the addition of so I knew that Jace and Porter were these other teachers that I thought were fun and liked at Eggfort in that this is episode 3 after the battle with the corn gremlins.
Cuties.
Cuties.
Okay, well, technically they're
cuties.
gremlins, so okay. But after that fight, when the teachers came in, I realized that with Eggfort being dead at that point, and this is no spoiler, trying to give any spoilers, but basically I was like, oh, I haven't introduced enough characters at the school yet. You know what I mean? Like I need to get more teachers out here because I knew that if you guys started going down the rabbit hole before there were enough people kind of like fleshed out in the setting. So I threw Porter in there being like, here's another teacher for them to suspect of foul play. And I was like, maybe they will suspect. And Emily was just on it from the word go. This guy's trouble. Porter Cliffbreaker.
But anyways, I can't believe that you would have gone after my dad like that.
Well,
Yeah, they were all doing roles. You were
Yeah,
all
I
doing
mean,
inside
he was a demon, and I'm trying to remember. There were some bad things heard about him, right? He was trapped. Do we know at this point who trapped him in the gem in the show?
Yeah.
I don't,
Yes.
We do. Arthur Eggfort trapped him in the...
Correct.
Yeah.
Because he was going buck wild.
He's going buck wild. Yeah.
But we don't know enough about Arthur Eggfort to even know that Arthur Eggfort is to be trusted.
he did kill himself to save 2 of our friends.
Or to save face. We don't know.
To save face.
Somehow,
Someone's like,
literally his face
this
was-
casts me in a very poor light.
The PR release is going to drag me.
My life is a small price to pay for my reputation.
I think all of my characters are behind whatever dressing I give them are a very grizzled old knight who just wants to do his duty. That's what all of my characters are behind them. So when I see somebody like Gorthalax and there's a bunch of flavor kind of given to his backstory, almost as like a joke, being like, this is Gorthalax the Insatiable, he's this crazy demon and everything. In my head, I'm like, that's unforgivable. You should be in a gem for the rest of your life, despite what you do now. You're too chaotic. We cannot release you on this world.
Fair enough.
Thank you for the ice cream.
And how
Get back in the
how
gem.
does the old grizzled knight hiding inside of a young investigative goblin feel about the daughter of that?
He solemn, like he does about everything.
Solemn.
Just nodding. He doesn't like his life, but he wouldn't have it any other way.
Perfect.
I just want to say really quick, sorry, Brendan, before you move us along.
Yes.
The conversation between Gorthalax and Fig is one of my most favorite conversations. The first one after you come out from the shaft, after you've freed him. And it was one of the my most favorite things to watch and also refilm in the minis. You were cornering him in a very real, abandoned child way of like, but after my horns came in, you still didn't want to reach out to me. And you got out of it by going, can we just like put a pin in this? Can we just like talk about this later?
Yeah.
In that moment, were you like, I need to get the action going here? Or were you like, I really don't know what to say? Because you've never been a parent, right?
I've never been a parent.
Okay. You were put in a real world situation right there.
It's very interesting. In that moment where you were like, after my horns. Now, here's what it comes down to. Human motivation, or in this case, devil motivation, is a very complex thing. The idea that we do things because we're motivated by a reason to do them is kind of overly simplified. Anything we do, we probably have multiple reasons to do, and maybe some reasons to not do that just get outvoted by the other reasons internally in your own head, right?
Right.
People have ways of rationalizing everything, right? So in Gorthalax's head, does he want to send noted creep and human trafficker Johnny Spells
Right.
to check up on his maiden daughter because that's the only person that he can talk to in his trapped state? Does he want to say, hey, my kid should know that I'm out here loving her somewhere. Take you and your creepy ass bike and meet my family.
I don't know. I think no one would have complained about more Johnny Spells.
Johnny Spells is so
Johnny
funny.
Spells.
And it's always, Johnny Spells was one of those characters that was introduced, and I was like, this is the guy. We're gonna be after him for a while. We just like splattered him.
I mean, I couldn't have imagined, but that's the thing is, there were, I knew that Johnny Spells was, one rung on the ladder as you guys were going to, follow breadcrumbs and kind of keep going down along the trail. But I didn't know that he would be out of it that quick. But, yeah, taking a crossbow bolt to the back of the head, and then...
Having all of his stuff stolen. We stole his little diary.
Stole his little diary, his switchblade comb. You guys also stole the hangman, which I was fully not anticipating. The hangman was fully improvised.
Great moment.
Hangman was such a beautiful, even just rewatching the 10th episode, and just watching the mini of the motorcycle going around. It's so
fun.
Beautiful.
In that moment, I was sitting next to Rick Perry, our art director, and I saw him making a mental note, time to make a motorcycle and make a mini with Fabian on the hangman. So it was 2 minis that had to be made in very short order.
Yeah,
it was exciting.
We were shooting 4 episodes a week, so we knew at that point that wouldn't be needed for the next battle, but it would be needed for the battle after that. So we had a week turnaround to get all that stuff done, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Rick is a wizard. He's a true
plain and
wizard.
simple.
I'd say he's a sorcerer. Because his genius seems so innate.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I would say he's a wizard because he works his ass off.
I think he's a multi-class.
It's super redundant.
Ultimate Magus. I love it, dude. It's not optimized.
I tell him that every day, dude. Your build in real life is not optimized.
Don't let flavor get in the way of performance.
Oh my god. Going back to your question with Gorthalax.
Yes.
I think the real deep down thing is because when people say reasons why they didn't do something, often there's an excuse or logistics, but also there's something else deep down preventing. I think Gorthalax is self-loathing.
Yeah.
He didn't want to reach out to a daughter that he didn't feel he deserved to know, or that he would even after the horns came in, it was I'm trapped in this gem, and I it was this thing of the force of habit, right? What am I going to do? I'm going to call her up to this, try to send Johnny Spells to go get her to come up here and rescue me so that I'm out of here. But the fact that he
also could have been once I get out of the gem, I should get out of the gem. Mm-hmm. Then I would do XYZ, another excuse, right? Yeah. But I think once he came out, it was so clear that the funniest thing for Gorthalax to be was deeply empathetic and respectful,
and have everyone but Fig be completely distrustful, which is just cracks me up. It cracked me up in the moment, and it cracks me up on the rewatch. He's being so kind and polite. See, even catching the messages that Adine's sending to you. Yeah. And I just want to say I heard that, and still everybody being distrustful is so funny to me.
It's also so funny because as a DM, people think, when people ask questions what do you do if they kill someone, or what do you do if they do this? And honestly, there were 2 big curveballs in both these episodes. The scene with Gorthalax is the longest scene in Dimension 20. It's about an hour-long scene in that diner. And it's the longest scene in the history of the show because I gave all of the information you guys needed to Gorthalax and made him an open book, and everyone was like, I don't trust this guy. and I suddenly was stymied. I was like, how do I get the information they need to them if they won't, I can't make Gorthalax know stuff he doesn't know. So he won't know to tell them stuff about the Harvest Men or about, traditional contradoxy or XY, all this stuff, unless they mine that information from him. And you guys weren't even mining information from him because you were busy keeping your own cards close to your chest, which was very, very funny. Speaking of curveballs, let's talk about 110 for a second. Again, I don't want to give any spoilers. And I'll say this. There's a moment in 110 where if that's the only episode you've watched, I will say it you won't even register it as being something that ruined my life. There's a moment in 110 that fully ruins my life. What do you?
Didn't we just? They saw 110, right?
They just saw 110, but I don't want to. But they don't know yet what. I guess we can say spoiler free. Daybreak dying ruins my life, and I won't tell you why, but it ruined my life, which is very great because there's a lot of memes on the internet about our players existing on a spectrum of chaos to law, and people would typically put Allie and Emily on the chaos side, and they would put Murph all the way on the lawful side, and it's that's how there's the play styles. Murph ruined my life.
That was clean. Once again, Riz is secretly a grizzled knight who's just we need to clean up our mess here.
Yeah, I mean, you iced that dude in blood. After one of the most brutal, shitting his pants, getting spit on in the face,
he got dragged on a motorcycle,
stabbed to death.
It's truly brutal. I think it's one of those things too where, much like the gem with Gorthalax, why I didn't trust him, because hearing about the past and everything, I was being very pragmatic in that moment where I'm this guy tried to end the world just now.
Yeah.
If we do not kill him right now, he might kill every single person ever on Earth. And I'm it's not worth risking it.
And actually Riz there was a bunch of clutch moves in that battle. That battle was one of the first battles because prior to that was the Mithril Factory, which was a big, close on either side kind of battle. Prior to that, it was the Black Pit, which was really scary and terrifying. This was the first battle, I think, in the show where you guys were cleaning up from the word go. You guys were doing extremely, extremely well. There was a moment where the apocalypse almost happened because the quarterback skeleton passed the football, guy grabbed it, was going. You had done Riz's thing that was a potentially risky move because you were I'm not going to take an action. I'm just going to stay here, prepare a reaction for if anyone comes with the ball through here. Yep. Prepared that reaction and we're can I shoot the ball out of his hand? And I was preparing to be you're going to need some pretty. And Siobhan comes in with Adine and the clutch room says, I give him my nat 20. Pulls the Doctor Strange is it. Perfect strand of fate.
Divination, right?
Divination.
Portent rolls. God damn. Those were nice to have.
They were really nice. I love divination wizards. I think Portent is one of the coolest abilities.
Portent really is.
Really, really cool. Being able to call a nat 20 in a moment where you need it, whoo, that's very fun. There's some other questions here that you go over. We'll also start taking some questions from the chat in a little bit, I think, right? Yeah. So what was your favorite part of episode 109? Which is the role-playing episode. That's that first hour of that is Gorthalax in the diner. And then Schaubach, do you remember what else happens? I'll start with Schaubach. What's your favorite part of 109?
I mean, it has to be the conversation between Gorthalax and Fig. I mean, that to me just felt it was so beautiful. And having that relationship with being able to reshoot it with the high angle, low angle, and seeing you up on the shoulders, coming up and just seeing your dad, and then getting that kind of a little bit of a lecture from him, which is you shared with him how you're kind of mad at your mom right now, and Gorthalax is look, I don't feel right taking any credit for anything. I was absent. And that, I think, kind of turned your attitude towards your mom in that moment where you started to open up to her. I thought that was so cool. It felt so real in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I a huge percentage of Americans and people in the world come from a family that has had multiple divorces in it. And there was this moment of Gorthalax saying something that I think is very real and experience that a lot of kids from divorced families have, which is he goes he says basically you're mad at your mom because she's there every day doing the boring, mundane things and putting the work in, and I have all this credit that I didn't really earn.
Yeah.
which is a really wild thing
Beautiful.
for a 16-foot tall demon with a skull on his loincloth.
Yeah.
To say.
I also, in general, think that like everyone always like. I think that dads in D&D get like a lot more worship than moms. So it was really fun for me to play that to the extreme to kind of then, show like, oh, why is everyone's character obsessed with their dad, but everyone's mom is just fine.
Yeah.
Which that moment for me then leads to, and I'm not going to spoil, but leads to one of my most favorite moments from the season, which has to do with your mom and a very poignant moment that they will all see. But I did tear up in that moment, So anyway, that's out there, and I hope you watch that and enjoy.
Was the doctor scene?
Yes.
That's my favorite. I mean, both great. You get the gamut with Fig in this episode. That's probably
the wild card.
That's one of my. That's one of the funniest moments in the season for me.
Such a wild thing to experience. Also, just because I feel like you looked at me during that and was just like, "Okay, we're going for this," and I was like, "All right, we're going for this."
Here's my thing: is this I am not a. I don't think of myself as a pure law DM in the traditional sense. I'm not keeping anything on rails, but there are just certain moments where Emily, as a player, will make choices that I never want to say no to from a position of like, that's a little out there, Emily. That's never what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep.
Feel free to, though. That voice sounded real stupid. It'd be funny.
But it's very funny because it's like whenever I've given any pushback to a chaotic move, it's never from a position of like, nice try, buddy, but not on my watch. It's almost always a more wizardly like, if I allow this move, the balance will be shifted in a way that will affect things to come. So it's any time that I've had to, for example, in the very first episode when I'm starting Dimension 20, it's my actual play show. CollegeHumor has decided to give me some guy.
Life dream has come true.
Life dream's come true. We filmed this before Tide CEO, before my first sketch had come out. I was just some dude. And I'm like, God, I hope this goes well. And in the first hour of the first episode of a story about a bunch of kids going to school, Emily says, I'm not going to school.
Would that not be what my character would have done?
And of course, you're the most brilliant role player in the history of the world. It's exactly what Fig would do. But you make me dance. You make me work for it. I gotta stay fast.
All right, let's put some more heat back on Murph, huh? Right? How about when he fucked you like?
But what I'm saying is, it's like I don't come down. Like I love that move. In my head, when that happens, I'm going like, God, I love that. That's such a great move on Fig's part. My life is ruined. And
honestly, though, you completely turned it around on me and made yourself look 10 million times better than if you had just had a normal scene bringing me to school.
I appreciate that, and that's what I'm saying is actually
because during that, as we were driving to school, as we were driving to go meet my dad, I was like, man, oh man, that was pretty easy. I really got away with something. Fully was like, I got it. I did it.
I can't believe it. This is from a later episode. I don't want to spoil it too much. There are a couple moments there where Fig throws straight up pure bolts of chaos at me, and I feel like I never fully got a shot to the heart. I managed to get out of most of them. My favorite one is the one, no spoilers, but you'll know it's a moment in a later episode of this series where you claim to have diplomatic immunity in the same way that Adine does, and you're like, I have it too. And I know that your deception roll is bonkers. So I just have the person go, yeah, what country are you from? And as you scramble for the laminated map on the table, like I thought so. And there are a couple, that's what I'm saying is you're my favorite person to play with in the world. I mean, the 6 cast members of Dimension 20 are my 6 best friends. Like we've all played for years out of character. But the chaos you provide, and I say this true from the heart and a place of deep gratitude, makes me do my best work. The challenge provided by players being in character and doing what their characters would truly do.
Okay, that's good to know.
I do think we all have a very balanced dynamic.
Yeah.
The
table
everybody's
is
very
very
different.
I
works
would
together.
like to say my intention is never to be chaotic. I'm never like, I'm gonna
I think you're just a
fuck up
creative-
Brennan
you're a
shit.
creative
I'm just
problem
always
solver.
like, okay,
Yeah.
this, it always feels like the very much, I guess from my perspective, when I do something, I'm like, this is a really good idea. All right, let's do it. And then everyone looks at me horrified, and I'm like, whoops.
No, I love it. I love it. It makes the stories the best they can possibly be.
Yeah.
Who wants to watch a game where everybody does the like conservative one move forward at a time? Like taking sudden twists and turns in a story is like the most gratifying thing. And again, committing deeply to these characters that the story would have. That rebel would not go to school. And it
Well, specifically also a rebel who has disguised self.
yes.
You know, like that was
totally.
why I was like, duh, I don't want to go to,
Good, you're good.
I don't want to go to school, and I know how to disguise myself, and I probably want to play with my spells. Let's do this.
Yeah. 1,000,000%.
And we got to meet Galir.
And that's how we got to see.
We got to meet Galir. So
Galir
also-
is the greatest NPC of all.
You probably weren't expecting Galir to be around so much.
Again, I want to be very clear. I never want to harp on Emily, but in terms of bringing chaos to the campaign, the fact that you were like, no, Brennan, Galir's the NPC we'll see the most of, could never have anticipated.
Yeah,
In my head, I'm like, oh, who are the fun NPCs like, you know, Arthur Eggfor and Bill Seacaster.
well, Fig's Ranger mom.
Yeah, Sandra Lynn.
Like,
but,
gee, she's a badass.
That's the dude who sucks.
If you just honestly, here's where you went wrong. I think the very first time we met him, there was a yogurt stain on his shirt.
it was beans the first time.
Oh, beans.
It was
And
beans
then
with
it got-
yogurt.
But
yeah.
it became yogurt, and once you're gonna do that, yeah, we want to see Yogurt Man again. Bring back the Yogurt Man. Bring back the Yogurt
I
Man.
actually realized I finally analyzed, like the improv teacher in me finally analyzed, like, God, what was it about Galir? Someone was talking to me about Galir the other night, and I literally was like, oh, I know why you guys liked Galir so much, and I was like, it's because he is who he is and has elf voice.
yeah.
And like.
Yeah.
Elf voice is from Lord of the Rings, and it is the voice of ultimate superiority. Of like, you know, like
opulence.
Yeah, of
everything
like-
fancy.
8 there are here, but 9 set out from Rivendell.
Yeah.
But instead, it would always just
Yogurt.
8 there are here, but 9 your place.
We're brought back from the 7-Eleven. Ah, I see. I've dropped one on the stairs and it's gone everywhere.
They actually have cheeseburgers at 7-Eleven. It's cheaper than McDonald's. They don't always keep us well.
Sometimes I like to just watch the hot dogs dance.
Right, I think it was the idea. I didn't reckon in my head how much you guys were going to enjoy the idea of an elf with that truly elven demeanor really not having a good life. Like, not doing well. But man, I was so joyful. But the doctor scene, all of this is to say that like those moves that you make are so joyful, and that hospital scene was the first time one of those moves happened where I went, nothing about what Emily's trying to do here is getting in the way of what needs to happen. Like all of this, like there is no reason to be like a lawful intercession on the chaos here. We've got time.
Yeah.
This is advancing the story. And I remember looking at you and literally being like, oh, you want to play?
Yeah,
I
really felt like there was a moment that you like were like, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Right. Because like I have a job to do during these. You don't think I can get crazy? I can get crazy, and let's get crazy. So it was so beautiful to like literally, like, we like tonally shifted into soap opera. Like, I described like non-diegetic soundtrack music. Like,
did I roll a nat 20 for that? Was that a nat 20 that
I rolled a nat 20. Get the scarabs out of something.
Yeah, what happened was Riz was doing the responsible grizzled knight thing of stealthing behind you in the hospital as you became this doctor. And I remember you rolled something. It was either a very bad or very good. I think it was a very bad deception check. Yeah. So I interpreted like disguise self is a spell, so there's no getting around that. But a bad deception roll means that I'm like, how do I punish a bad deception roll in this case where it's still magic? And I was like, oh, Fig's disguised herself as someone that looks just like someone who actually works in the hospital. So you walk in and you're like, Dr. Kelleher, how are you? And you're like, ugh, and it's like, you're not just a rando, you're like, oh, you work here. And then all of a sudden it was like getting swept into this operating room. And I remember the look on your face, which I'm not gonna lie, I relished, of you being like, oh, like it was the look of someone who has like raised a ton of money and had an even bigger stack come back across the table in terms of like, oh yeah, let's do this. Yeah, you want to pretend to be a doctor? Cool, pretend to be a doctor here in the operating room. And then Riz hits the nat 20 on shooting the scarab out of the middle of the guy with mummy rot.
Yeah.
What was the worst thing that could have happened in that moment? Like, it all worked out, but like, where were you going to take that?
I could have gotten messed up, right?
You could have gotten messed up, but also because Fig was starting to be consumed by the mummy, like her arm was getting eaten up by the monsters being sucked in. So as a result of that, she could have absolutely been like devoured by the mummy.
If I'd been devoured like by the mummy, could I have played the rest of the campaign as Fig trapped inside a mummy?
Yes.
Of course.
Absolutely. Yes. No, but honestly, what I probably would have done would have been to keep making things worse until you rolled a nat 20. Like, in that moment where I was like, I'm going to give Fig exactly what she's asking for, which is a raw, high-octane adventure, just a, like, straight detour into madness. So if you didn't even the mummy, I probably would have put you in some weird purple dusk, like, Egyptian afterlife and had you fight, like, jackal demons. And if you got killed by them, pushed through into another afterlife past that afterlife, and I would have just kept going like until
a hall of mirrors, but for afterlife.
Like a hall of mirrors for afterlife. Maybe had you fractalize and turn into components of yourself stretched across infinity, and then if that kept going, I would just wait for somebody to roll a nat 20, and then we'd snap you back.
Awesome.
She wants to get killed.
I want to be in a hall of mirrors of afterlives.
Oh man! Well, I feel like has it been around 15 minutes? Should we make our big ol' announcement? Oh, it's been more than 15 minutes, and we can start putting questions from the chat up here anytime you guys want, and we'll start answering them. But big announcement starting I believe September 25th. Yes, starting September 25th here on Dropout Live Wednesday nights. You will be able to tune into Dimension 20 Live, the continuing adventures of Fantasy High. We will be returning to the world of Spire with our intrepid heroes, with the bad kids from the Eggford Adventuring Academy, and we'll be doing a live stream game of D&D. We will continue to make full seasons and side quests of Dimension 20. We're actually shooting...
We're shooting one right now!
I have hung out with these guys the past 3 nights in a row shooting... some of the most fun D&D we've ever played.
It has been insane. Awesome. I've been staying up till 4 in the morning because I'm just like this from adrenaline.
Just too jacked to go to sleep. Yeah. So there will be more full seasons coming to Dropout of Dimension 20, which will you'll go to Dropout to see. But we will have a live Twitch game Wednesday night, 7 p.m. ongoing, starting September 25th. We're going back to Elmville, baby. And not only will we be going back to Elmville, but as we continue our adventures in Elmville, it is possible that our brave adventurers at the Eggford Adventuring Academy might even stumble on worlds beyond that. After all, there are a lot of
What kind of worlds, Brennan?
I mean, I don't know how many worlds or dimensions we'll end up going to, maybe around 20 or so. But, point being, we reserve the right to get up to all kinds of shenanigans, both with the bad kids and maybe with some other heroes that we have already seen or maybe we have yet to see. So I reserve the right to be as mysterious and cryptic as I'd like. But the point being, y'all gonna see some live Dimension 20 starting September 25th, 7 p.m. here on Twitch. We can't wait.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Our first question comes to us from Demarest44. If you could bring any character, PCs or NPCs, from either Bloodkeep or the Unsleeping City to the world of Fantasy High or vice versa, who would you like to see? Remember, we're up right now in Unsleeping. So this is spoiler for Unsleeping City. Sorry, spoilers for Unsleeping City.
Yeah.
We're only up to episode 7 in Unsleeping City.
Okay. Right.
So that means that we've just gotten to the beginning of the fight in the subway.
Right.
Pete did his Wild Magic Surge and got Nod to the subway. So yeah,
who is the pigeon that Perry the pigeon?
Perry the pigeon.
I think Perry the pigeon would be a good assistant at Eggford Academy.
I would love to see Galir and Wally hang out.
Yes.
Galir and Wally.
Yes.
Like maybe Galir and Wally could host like a sports podcast together.
That's so good.
I like,
So
Galir being
good.
so much smarter than Wally, but not having any kind of social standing where he's just always low status. Somehow Wally would still be the domineering.
Wally has a union job.
Yeah, Wally is doing much better than Galir is.
I mean, he's got his own place,
Yeah.
and he's
That
paying
is
his
kinda-
bills and.
Yeah, that's a sort of.
Wait, that's
That's
true
a
though.
good
They
one.
both work. One works for the subway, the other works for,
One works for the subway. The other, that feels very good to me. I would love to see a Galir and Wally hang out. How about you, Schaubach? Who would you want to see?
I was going to say Wally in that world would be really hilarious. I'm trying to think about who from Bloodkeep would be a really good mix in there.
Well, it'd be very fun to see. Like we have, like the amazing Matt Mercer plays a very fun character in Bloodkeep.
He could come in as like a teacher at the school or something. It would be interesting.
That would be very, very fun. I'm trying to think of who, because they're all very vile villains.
They are.
I'm trying to think of who would get. Honestly,
but Hogwarts has its Snape, so
That's very true.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what? Mike Trapp's Soak Bar, who just
Soak Bar.
wants big deadly monsters, he would fit right in as a teacher at the Eggford Adventure.
He would, and he'd have all his beasts. He'd be like, what's his name?
he'd be Hagrid.
Hagrid.
He would just be
in the back. Go visit him.
He would be a Hagrid who would be okay with some students dying.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, sorry, you got too close to the.
That is kind of how Hagrid
To
is.
Jeremy.
Though.
Yeah, it's not too far of a leap.
Yeah.
It's not too far of a leap. I love that. I think those are amazing. Joshing Tugboat 4. Will we see more of Hargis? The wonderful Hargis, which was Brian David Gilbert's guest character in the Bell House show. The Brooklyn Bell House
Bell
show.
House show.
Well, Brian David Gilbert is the sweetest guy in the world. He's incredibly funny. Hargis was such a good character who jumped right into the world of Fantasy High effortlessly. This very awkward theater kid. I think Hargis's life is pretty much set. He got the part. He's doing the play with Carrie. I think his arc
He had a happy ending. Let him have his happy ending.
happy ending. Maybe we'll cut to small scenes with the Hargis, just like being in a healthy, stable senior year relationship in high school and doing more theater. But, that's the problem. Everyone says they want to see sweetness and happiness, but I know the real truth, which is you want to see these people suffer. And, I don't want that for Hargis. I don't want it for Hargis.
He just wants it for us.
I just want it for them. They can take it. Not poor Hargis. Spicy Cheddar. What was the character creation process like for Fantasy High and Unsleeping City? What information did Brennan give the cast about the world that they would be playing in?
Oh, Brennan sends us lots of information. He sends us maps. And then we get together. I would say the difference I noticed in terms of character creation from Fantasy High to Unsleeping City is that Fantasy High, it was kind of like all out in the open. We know everything about each other's characters. Unsleeping City, we didn't know much about each other's backstories. We all had little secrets, and it will keep happening throughout the season. We all had little secrets with Brennan that the rest of us didn't know.
Yeah, it was much more. With Unsleeping City, a lot of the point of Unsleeping City was talking about New York. And this is something that I love New York, and the campaign is very much like a love letter to a place that I'm from and don't live anymore and miss a lot. But of course, the problem with New York is anytime you're writing a story about New York, it's deeply arrogant. Oh, you know New York? Well, and even more so than most cities, there isn't one New York. Like, are you talking about Financial District? Are you talking about Forest Hills?
Yeah, right.
Are you talking about Bay Ridge? Are you talking about Harlem? Are you talking about Riverside, like South Bronx, like Jamaica? What, like Flushing? Like, you go, like, all of these places are communities unto themselves with their own rich history, and like, and even within that, you start to web the like social circles of New York, where even in the same neighborhood, it's like, oh, there's two different worlds here because this neighborhood is like, you look at Greenpoint and you're like, artsy hipsters and old Polish families, and you're like, these people live in the same apartment buildings and are in two different universes. Yeah. So part of what creating the characters for Unsleeping City was about was saying, like, the heroes of New York can't be homogenous, and they have to bring a lot of baggage that makes coming together harder. Like, the bad kids are kind of in it to win it from the end of episode 2. Mm-hmm. With the Unsleeping City, I wanted to represent the fact that, like, adult strangers don't talk to each other in New York.
Yeah.
And that they have tragedy and hurt and heartbreak in their backstory. And to me, the idea of having a D&D show where getting to the party cohesion is a big part of the story was something I wanted to explore.
I found it to be very fun because it's not a spoiler to say that my character in Unsleeping City is a divorcee. That comes out first episode. But I guess if you want a spoiler warning, yep. And the fact that it was so hard to connect with other people, that there were so few opportunities to like connect with each other, like only made it feel even lonelier, and it felt like a very truthful story.
Yeah, it's New York. It's lonely.
Yeah.
You also live in Staten Island, right?
I lived in Staten Island. No one would. Oh gosh, darn it! No one would come out on the ferry,
which is true.
Hang out with me
In real life.
That is true in real life.
And then I think also with Fantasy High, we were specifically trying to kind of hit Breakfast Club tropes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like Unsleeping City, we were just kind of trying to hit different people around New York, but it was a little bit less, you know, like archetypical or.
Yeah. It was an interesting thing of being like, what's the D&D class you want to play? What would that be in New York City?
Yeah.
Or what's a New York City person you want to be? What kind of class would they be? Right. But there really was this thing of being like, what would a paladin be in New York? A firefighter. What would a cleric be? An ER nurse. Like, there was this element of, like, the translation of it. So that was very different. Also, with Unsleeping City, it was like New York is a place where half the cast has lived. So it wasn't like I needed to give you a, like, breakdown. It's like, if I wanted to do a campaign setting breakdown, here's a Wikipedia article on New York City, you know? Which was very interesting.
I'll say that from an audience perspective, because I get to watch all of this happen as a viewer, as sort of as a passive viewer, I get to watch all this happen. And so just for you at home, like, the way that happens is that everyone goes over to Brennan's house, or for this one, for Unsleeping City, we all went over there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You guys had all done your research, and he had sent you all the articles and ideas and all that kind of stuff. It's really fun to just sit there and watch all of the characters start to crystallize and become real. And I remember specifically Zach's character, that was the first one out of the gate. Mm-hmm. Was the fireman, and it was like just seeing that all come together in that moment was really neat, and then seeing it playing out over the season. It's really a cool moment.
It was really lovely, and I think too, one thing that we've definitely wanted to do with this was like, knowing we were going to do multiple seasons of Dimension 20, I just wanted to take big swings with seasons.
Yeah.
I wanted to look at Unsleeping City as like, let's not try to do Fantasy High again. Like, I want to do something where there is friction and baggage and trauma in the characters, and see if they get to the point that the bad kids got to. You know what I mean? Like, because New York,
adult trauma is very, very, very different from teenager trauma.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. And there's an element too of like, not to get all philosophical about it, but a story about New York being under mystical, arcane threat, and the central thing being like, can different people with wildly different lives and backgrounds learn to organize and come together?
Yep.
And that's, to me, an important and beautiful kind of story.
New York story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, what do we share? What do we have in common? A love for each other and this place.
And also, Murph is a rat.
Also, Murph is a rat.
And I was almost, my original pitch, I think, was for a ranger who was very good at hunting rats and stuff.
Right.
Yes,
I was
you
gonna
had been
I was
an
gonna
exterminator.
I was going to do the Cugrash voice, but be like, they're
fucking rats.
They're in the walls.
Yeah.
The pigeons are all over the place. And like just be really good at hunting, like be a hunter.
But it's so much more fun that you
be an actual rat.
were of the rats.
So good.
That was the thing too. Is we already had 4 humans, and there was part of me that's like, it'd be nice to have one really fantastical. It'd be nice to have one character hidden behind the Umbral Arcana.
Yeah.
Like one full stop. Like you go to the Hellboy thing and you see like Abe Sapien up in the glass with the water everywhere.
Yeah.
And you go like, oh yeah, this is some magic. Now we're in it. And that's kind of what Cugrash was to me. Has there ever been a prop or dungeon that you decided to not possibly build?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use this as an opportunity. I remember you guys will sometimes play test the battle spaces, right? Mm-hmm. And didn't you say that for the current season that we're filming that you play tested one? Didn't you play test something and you said you had to scrap it? Or does that ever happen? That you'll come up with like a battle mechanic and then you guys will play test it before you actually play it with us? And
This season we did a full play test.
Yeah.
Others I've done more casual play tests on. We rarely have play tested something we've already built.
Yeah.
Okay.
But sometimes there have been some instances there.
Bloodkeep was most of the time it's a decision on path of story. Mm-hmm. So we go, do we want to go here or do we want to go here? And Bloodkeep for me is the one that stands out, which was basically it's already been released, so we can say that the skyship battle could have been another battle.
Yes, it could have been.
So,
and we ended up cutting one of them because it was just too complex. There was a battle that was planned for Escape from the Bloodkeep, which was a fog of war type battle with the board slowly being revealed in a series of goblin warrens.
Yeah.
And it was a really fun idea that maybe someday I'll use in a different setting.
Yeah.
But the idea, I mean, that's the hard thing about Dimension 20 is in every battle being like, I can't give these 6 players a room with bad guys in it. You know, like I have to give you something that is dynamic and because you guys will understand your powers in the game so well that there will be nothing challenging about it. So it's like give a big X factor that adds another level of complexity and decision making to this, right?
Yeah.
So the Goblin Warrens is the only one I think we've fully ever scrapped.
yeah.
Do they ever say no to you? Do Schaubach and Rick ever say no to you? Are you ever like, I want to do...
Just budget, but Rick, I don't think Rick ever says no.
Interactive Corp says no to me sometimes.
Exactly. We get no from other people, but Rick Perry's always down.
Yeah, Rick
and wants to add to it this and this and this
Have you
and
had
this.
pitches where they're just like, no, that costs $10,000. You absolutely can't do that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Like if you were like, what if it was a fight in a bank and we had real gold? Right? Like they would
I do
probably-
remember that
would
conversation,
you say no to that?
and
Or would you say yes?
I would say absolutely yes. Let's have some real gold. It matters. People
And then-
will notice the difference between fake gold and real
will.
gold on camera.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think that the for the most part, I mean, look, the weird thing about all these sets is each of these sets is like X by X length, 2 by 3, and there are budgetary differences between some things and others, but it's rare to be like, we don't have like a special effects, but these things aren't lighting on fire.
Yeah.
So it's sort of weird. It's
What if they were though?
That I'd probably
tune in
say
for
no to.
season 5.
I'm sorry.
For season 5, in which we all actually physically die.
We should incorporate more, when you were a
Water,
little kid and there'd
a
be-
moat?
Yeah, little like action figure. Anytime there'd be an action figure commercial, they would always have like cool layers and stuff that you don't actually get in real life. But it'd be like toxic ooze gets poured on the Ninja Turtles. You should put some ooze.
If we ever had a water battle and there was actual water, I just think throughout the entire battle, I would just be like, just touch it.
Just touch it. Well, actually, in an early stage of the alligator battle, of the Rat King battle in Unsleeping City, I did have a what was it? A question for Rick, which was like, now, if we were to hydro-proof the set and the minis, could we use the flight extenders to actually have them underwater, and I'll just pour a pitcher and raise the levels up that way. That I got a hard shutdown on. That no one.
Yeah,
I would love to see Rick just give you a big fat no. No way, man. Just look at you like you're an absolute idiot.
We were shooting that battle, and I think I might have said, God, I wish we could do water. And because we were recreating it, why not? And Rick was in the shop just behind us, and I could hear him on the outside go, "No water!" Like he was listening. But I was like, to Santi, I was like, maybe we could do just like a little water on this? No water!
We just get like a spray bottle.
Yeah.
And like whoever's character is underwater, we spray them.
Yeah, exactly. No water. It's great.
Briticus, thank you. Thank you, Briticus, for your question.
Briticus has been chatting a lot tonight. Thank you, Briticus, for that. Thanks for being an active member.
Who were your favorite characters to have one-on-one scenes with as our peer?
Is that for us or you?
It's a role player would be us.
Yeah.
Role player. It's just everyone. I don't do superlatives. Just everyone.
Yeah, I think as far as
Oh wait.
NPCs and
As
stuff,
NPCs.
I would say definitely with Kugrash and Wally.
Yeah.
I like anytime I can talk to my.
Can we just get a little Wally right now? I miss him.
Hey, you're turning into Wally and Galir in the morning. I'm Wally.
Oh my God.
I'm Galir, Faith. This morning we'll talk about the humiliating defeat.
He would take his sports team losing so personally.
He would be like a Cleveland Browns fan.
Just believe into the narrative.
Go Browns! Another devastating season.
You hate to see it, folks. The Utah Hellions win another match. Jeez.
And I think Wally would probably just accidentally be a front runner, like just start rooting for like high scores.
I just love the Patriots.
Yeah. I just love to see everybody play ball all the time.
So if you think about it, how do we win every time?
I just really needed a win last night.
Cool. So Wally is Kugrash.
Galir probably.
Obviously Galir. Yeah, Galir is probably my favorite. Yeah, I don't know. Just really, that's a really hard. I just gotta say everyone.
We had some good. I like
Cug and
Cug and Sophie is really
Cug
fun.
and Sophie was
And the
really
art
fun.
that is coming from the fans on that, I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
Sophie passed out,
Sophie's
like in
styling
the
up.
and then
A little
styling up.
Hug.
cloaked, covers like as a little watching figure. That to me is like to everyone that creates the fan art, we cannot thank you enough.
Yeah.
It's literally like
It's-
I'm going to show
it's-
my phone screen.
It's just like it's like how we get to relive it also.
And it's like you watch it because you're in your head and you're like, what about a fantasy? Like, why doesn't New York ever get all these European countries?
This is my
get fantasy
phone. This
stories?
is my home screen right now. If you can see
Laser
it.
Oh, that's Laser Lazuli.
Yeah.
Laser, awesome.
This is,
Lucas,
Sophie
yes.
and
Sophie and La Gran Gata. La Gran Gata de la tienda de la esquina.
So it's a part of our lives. We love it. It motivates us too.
Yeah.
As we continue to create new seasons, we just love it.
Before it was La Gran Gata, it was Bill Seacaster for a long time.
It was Bill Seacaster on my phone, yeah.
Who I love. That's
And who I miss.
yeah.
Can I get a little Bill Seacaster, just a little bit?
My darling.
I have some news. Can I tell you?
Stop pimping him into whatever.
I don't know. I want to call you up every now and then, just get some advice. You know.
I love that you want advice from Bill Seacaster,
Absolutely.
who would not give.
Well, no, because I consider myself a very kind person, so I think it would be nice to have sort of a counselor who would give me a little bit of the other side advice.
Here's what you need to do is like when you're missing them, you just text Brennan and he can send you a little voice memo. Because I have a friend who was doing like a little New Zealander accent, and it was like so foreign to me that I would sometimes be like, I wonder how that character would say this, and I would just be like, how would you say nieces and nephews? And then he would just send it back to me as a
Nieces
little
and
voice memo.
nephews. Yeah, that's great.
I love that. Rat Cheez-Its. Hey, Rat fam, get in the comments, you rats. What was y'all's favorite interaction you've ever seen between fans on Discord or IRL?
Well, you guys had all the live show stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What was that like? What was that like at the Bell House
Or Bell House
or
RTX?
RTX? What's it like going to a room full of people that are just like?
There was a character. Actually, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that in Fantasy High, you will someday meet Adine's sister, and there is someone who does cosplay for Adine's sister, and it's some of the most dynamite cosplay I've ever seen.
Persephone, I believe, did cosplay, and she had the the catchphrase on the shirt, Aylwin, it was unbelievable.
What is the catchphrase? I always forget that catchphrase. What is it?
Hasn't come yet. Spoiler.
Twitch has been very kind in featuring us on their homepage, and they have some very strong rules about which words you can say. Now,
some strong rules that I have already broke twice, so I think we cannot afford a third strike.
Okay, fair enough.
On a personal and moral level, I may or may not agree with these rules, but the important thing is we're here to play ball. What was y'all's favorite?
Here to play ball is the name of Wally and Galier's.
Oh, no. Oh, great.
Wait, here to play ball in the morning with Wally and Galeer. First up, Captain Fabian Seacaster with another MVP.
Oh,
he's my best friend.
I do love at RTX. Galeer pretending to be Fabian got a big reaction, and I always think it's really fun when things that are. They're almost inside jokes, like Fabian's vanity being like, he would never, ever want to be Galeer. It's like, you really need to know that character for that to be funny, and for that to get a big reaction. It's just like, oh, this is so cool, we're all playing together. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing about those live shows that's been so incredible, is that there's an element of, like, performing to an audience that is... that wants the deep cuts.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's rare for a musician to go on stage and have people be like, play something off the B-side. You know, like, it's a very cool feeling.
Play your new album for us. We really want to hear it.
We really want to hear it. That's great. M. Riley 16. Does Brennan ever worry about getting the characters to their set combat for the next episode? Was it ever hard to ensure the characters took the right path?
Interesting.
Good question.
That's a great question. Thanks.
I'll take this one. Thank you.
No, I don't get worried about it. The reason I don't get worried about it is that there is a tremendous balance between. So there's this weird paradox here, right? Which is like, we'll call the paradox. How do you balance between not wanting to railroad people, and how do you balance between your company has spent a tremendous amount of money producing the best sets in the history of filmed actual play,
and you can't do 6 episodes in a hospital.
And you can't do 6 episodes in a hospital. And also, you have to get everyone everywhere in 2-hour increments every time. And also, the amount of episodes you're going to shoot is fixed before you even start. It's fun and challenging.
Sounds easy. Sounds super easy.
Also, I feel like railroading isn't really a thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I kind of agree.
If you don't care about the quest, if you're not trying to do the thing, then you're not playing. Well, I guess you are playing. You should be playing right. You should be working. No, but
My answer is Murph. Murph gets us to the next fight. That's my answer.
But when you play D&D, like, if you don't want to save the world, if you don't want to fix whatever the problem is, if you're just like, my character would actually just hang out at the tavern.
Right.
Just like, okay, then sit in a room by yourself, and you can imagine what it would be like.
Murph is also a DM, and when he DMs, because I'm his wife, we are married. What is it going on?
5 years.
5 years.
How many years has it, hon?
Wow.
I feel as though I have a secret superpower, which is that I can read your subtle cues. So sometimes I'll feel like, oh, Murph, this actually is maybe something Murph really wants us to do, and I can kind of like if it seems like it.
Very kind of
Maybe you don't care about that help.
No, super care.
And I would say, too, in the Venn diagram of things that need to happen, right, and then total player agency, there is a thin overlap. And that thin overlap is my ability to predict what the PCs will want to do, and also the PCs being my friends and good players that know that these episodes are also 2 hours and know that fights have to happen. Like if they really wanted to throw me off, they could, and they don't, because they are also master storytellers, right? Like they are people that like know the game and love it and want the next thing to happen. The other thing also is, really, it's not about what happens at the table. My work should happen ahead of time. Like Fantasy High, it was always effortless to get you to the next fight, not because I'm like some mastermind railroader, nor because you guys were like, well, Brennan wants us to go to this next thing. It's a mystery.
Right, so that's the next step.
The clues go to the next place.
Right.
So a lot of it is just about structuring your story cleverly to go like honestly, the biggest tool I use to get them to the next fight is not like, how do I trick them to go where I need them to go? It's more about like time and pacing and just making sure like, okay, we have X amount of role-playing scenes to go through, so let's get through those role-play scenes in enough time that we get to where the next moment's going to happen. So I think it's a little bit of magic on all parts, and we end up somewhere in the middle between total chaos and complete strict railroading.
Right, and like we killed Daybreak. Like,
yeah.
All those things, I feel like it's about players kind of solving problems their own way and affecting the world. It's not about like just put them in the world and there's just a bulletin board that like they can go catch some orcs if they want, or they can go shopping. It's just like, okay, that doesn't sound super fun to watch or listen to.
Yeah.
Hard disagree. Shopping in D&D is one of the great joys of life.
This is a big thing because there are people that I deeply love and respect who are very into shopping, and I am all about that and support that. I have a hard time running shopping as a DM.
And people don't want to listen to it.
And that's the thing is, also I have a hard time because I'm so steeped in old pagan Celtic lore, and it's never like the hero Cuchulainn raised his blade aloft. He had bought it that morning for 20 gold pieces.
All I want to do is, I'm not going shopping for new. I just am always like, oh, sweet. What if my character had a cool vest? I'd like to buy a cool vest.
Here's the thing, you can buy a cool vest right now.
Yeah.
In real life, yeah, but I'd have to use my real dollars for it. I'd much rather use fantasy bucks on a fantasy vest.
I love it.
But before we go to the next one, I have to give a shout out to the artist of this T-shirt. Is that okay?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is a custom-made T-shirt made by Justin Klett. Last name spelled Klett. jklettdesigns.com. He made this shirt for me. I found it on Reddit, and he made this for me and handed it to Brennan in a very sort of clandestine way at C2E2.
Why clandestine?
And because it was sort of like a money under the table and all that, and this is not a sanctioned design, and I'm glad it's not, because it's one of a kind.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you, so thank you so much, and thank you to all the fans that create all the art.
Echoing that, our awesome fans are incredible. We have time for one more question here on the stream. Zarovix, Brennan, which is the most difficult NPC voice for you to keep up for long periods of time? Gorthalax.
That's rough on the voice.
Gorthalax is the hardest. And I got to do a 1-hour scene with him. Which brings me back to us talking about the episode 109. Yeah, I love it. I'm sitting there going like, I have a lot of clues. You just want to ask me about them. I actually have like 10 paragraphs I need to tell you, so if you can just ask one question so I don't have to keep telling you. Yeah, if we can wrap it up.
I was trying to help you. It was all them.
Yes, actually, that's very true. Fig was actually keeping us on the rails that time.
Yeah. Can Riz join the basketball team?
I love it.
And now, newest addition to the basketball team.
It is. Watch me play basketball for 45 minutes.
I love it. Guys, merch is now available in the store. You can check out, the Dropout has its own store. We got tons of merch available. You can head on over to YouTube to Dimension 20 and subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications, please. We'll get you new stuff stat. You can sign up for Dropout to watch episodes of the Unsleeping City and the rest of Fantasy High and everything else. And you can stay tuned for Twitch, where we got Drawfee and Dimension 20 coming coming at you. We got another couple weeks of extra credit. We're going to be doing talkbacks as we preview and show live the episodes of Fantasy High that you might have missed.
And I'm going to start DMing a purely shopping campaign.
In the Dropout store, you can only buy Fantasy High and Unsleeping City merch. And guys, stay tuned for our big live Twitch D&D show, Dimension 20 Expanded Universe, coming September 25th. We'll see you guys there. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Dice. Guys, that's all for this chapter of Dimension 20. But wait, more full episodes call out to you from the realms beyond dropout.tv. Will you come to their aid and sign up for your free trial today?